It was a beautiful morning in July of 1962, and Bob White was crammed into the cockpit of the X-15, suspended underneath the B-52, watching the runway just sort of go by. Now, as the B-52 climbs into the air, White begins his checklist. He's activating the systems, powering up the generators, and pressurizing the fuel tanks. 3, 2, 1, launch. Bob White jams the throttle forward, and bright red flames pour out of the X-15 engine. And finding his angle of attack, which was about 41 degrees, he feels the full effect of the G-forces on his body. Climbing higher, as scheduled, White cuts the engines at 80 seconds. He is 59 miles above the Earth and weightless. There is no sensation of speed, but a distinct feeling of altitude. Taking the chance to look around, the sky was a deep blue, almost black. And you can see the curvature of the Earth from San Francisco Bay all the way to the coast of Mexico. With this record-setting flight, White earned his astronaut wings, the first ever to do so in a fixed-wing aircraft.
Major General Bob White began his military career during World War II. Eager to serve his country as a fighter pilot, he entered the Army as an 18-year-old aviation cadet in November of 1942. White won his pilot's wings and was commissioned a second lieutenant in the Army Air Corps in July of 1944. The 355th Fighter Group, which had been newly equipped with a highly powered P-51 Mustang, flew bomber escort missions over Germany. Well, in February of 1945, he was shot down by heavy anti-aircraft fire over Germany during his 52nd combat mission. He was captured and remained a prisoner until the camp was liberated 2 months later. White was recalled to active duty in May of 1951 for the Korean War. In February of 1952, he was sent to Japan and assigned to the 40th Fighter Squadron as an F-80 pilot and flight commander. Facing a crossroads at the end of the Korean War, White elected to remain on active duty and turned his attention to the advancement of scientific flight. He traveled to California to attend the Air Force Experimental Test Pilot School at Edwards Air Force Base and graduated in January of 1955. White's destiny was to change dramatically when the Joint Air Force and Navy NASA X-15 project moved into high gear in 1958. The challenge was to explore the problems connected with manned flight beyond the Earth's atmosphere. The solution was the X-15. North American Aviation's futuristic rocket-powered research aircraft, launched from a B-52. Now a major, White was designated the Air Force's primary pilot for the X-15 program. He made his first X-15 flight on April 15, 1960. 4 months later, he took the experimental aircraft to an altitude of 136,000 feet. After the craft's new and improved 57,000-pound thrust engine was installed, White flew it to a speed of 2,275 miles an hour in February of 1961, setting an unofficial world speed record. Over the next 8 months, he became the first human to fly at Mach 4, and then at Mach 5. In November, White reached a speed of 4,093 miles an hour, 93 miles an hour more than the plane was designed to achieve, and made White the first human to fly a winged craft 6 times faster than the speed of sound. Following this feat, he took the X-15 to the record-setting altitude of more than 59 miles above the Earth's surface, qualifying him for astronaut wings. An assignment to the Air Force Systems Command followed as chief of the Tactical Systems Office, F-111 Systems Program at Wright-Patterson Air Force Base in Dayton, Ohio. For the third time in White's career, war intervened. In May 1967, he went to Southeast Asia as Deputy Commander for Operations of the 355th Tactical Fighter Wing stationed in Thailand. He flew 70 combat missions over North Vietnam, flying the F-105 Thunder Chief. White was then transferred to 7th Air Force Headquarters at Tan Son Nhut Airfield, Republic of Vietnam, where he served as Chief of the Attack Division in the Directorate of Combat Operations. In June of 1968, White was back into the world of research and development at the Air Force Systems Command at Wright-Patterson. Now a colonel, he was named director of the Aeronautical Systems Division's F-15 Systems Program Office. Designated a selectee for the rank of brigadier general, the 46-year-old officer assumed command of the Air Force Flight Test Center in July of 1970. White retired from active duty as a major general in February 1981. For his service action in combat, White earned the Air Force Cross and 4 Silver Stars with 3 clusters. For serving his country and dramatically expanding our knowledge of flight, Robert M. White has earned his place in the National Aviation Hall of Fame.